Welcome to the Swirl to Investment News Network. News by and for the Swirl to Investment community. Hope you enjoy. How's everybody doing tonight? I just got a story I want to put out there, a story I found out in the internet, and it's another example of black femicide. Another young black lady, black woman has been unalived, and a tragedy has taken place by a woman she was dating. And I want to show this video. It is sad, but for women to be careful when you're out there dating, when you're out there, you meet that guy and you see if the date's right. You got to be safe, okay? And this is from a few days ago, and this woman's been missing for some time, okay? But without further ado, I'll go ahead and do the news report.
Hi, Lauren. This is a mother truly with a broken heart. She wants her daughter home. And through a lot of tears and pain tonight, she asks those who are connected to her daughter's disappearance to come forward.
Please come home.
A mother crying out in pain.
And I miss you so much.
Through tears, Yvette Franklin remembers the last time she spoke with her daughter on the phone.
She was telling me she was going out of town or something she had to do.
That was Friday, July 14th. Alicia was supposed to be back home in Moore County the following Monday, but she never showed up. Yvette knew something was wrong, so she quickly turned her attention looking for answers.
It's just
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. How often does this happen when somebody, uh, disappears for a little bit and we don't know where they're at? They might not have checked in, and a lot of times they'll show back up. Something happens, but sometimes it's something tragic. Okay, but you can see the mother is upset because her daughter's missing and they don't know where she is. But anyway, let's continue here.
like something kept dragging me to her pictures. This before this even happened, I just sitting here in this chair like I am now, and I could look from that picture to that picture. I just kept looking at him, just shaking, like something was it was trying to tell me something.
It's now been 37 days since anyone has seen Alicia. Her mother wants police to do more to find her. The family says it was their effort that landed Alicia's name in the national database for missing people.
They need to do more than what they say they're doing.
Tonight,
Okay, let me make this point. Okay, she's been missing for a long time, right? And for her family and friends to have to come in and get attention on this case, to put in the missing persons database. A lot of things, a lot of times things don't happen unless we make them happen. And this is sad. There needs to be a better system. When somebody comes up missing, it needs to be national in a database. It needs to cover the airways and all news reports. And I don't want to hear people say, well, there's so many, they don't have it. No, they can put it in a small segment at least and have some kind of all points bulletin like police do, but like a missing persons report where we could put it on every news network. And I believe we could do this. We could do more than what we're doing anyway. But I just wanted to make that point because they had to do something to get more attention to this case. Because a lot of times cases like this are local and they don't reach the national news, or if they do, it's like a little bit of time and it's gone and people forget about it. And, if we're not talking about it a lot, people forget about black femicide, about black women and girls missing. Okay. And we know that black women and girls are the most unprotected in our country. You know, it's true. And when we don't see it and people aren't in these neighborhoods or where these women are missing, either we don't know it exists or we don't think it's that bad. And most people don't really care about other people's unless it's happening to them. That's just the honest truth. But there needs to be more coverage and stuff like this.
She's worried sick about her daughter, restless, and wondering if she's okay.
What is your heart telling you right now about your daughter?
That she hurt somewhere.
With no answer, she's turned to family and her community for support.
Alicia, come home. Alicia.
It's the same support that's been showing up here in Moore County week after week, praying for Alicia.
So we believe for Alicia to come home alive. Hallelujah.
Okay, remember that name, Alicia Watts. Okay, a missing young black woman. Okay, and her community is praying for her. They want her to come home, and they need to pray for her. But there needs to be more done when people go missing. We need to treat it, we're all human beings. Now, if she was a celebrity, it'd be all over the news networks. But because she's an everyday woman, it's not put out there.
And it's those prayers that are helping this heartbroken mother find the strength to push through.
Please do so. Please, please, please. We need all the help we can get finding my baby.
And Lauren, it just breaks your heart to see this mother crying out in so much pain. She is truly heartbroken, missing her daughter. Now, CMPD told me tonight Alicia's case remains active and it's still a missing persons case. That community effort that we continue to see week after week, it will continue next week as well. They're going to Lane, South Carolina. That is the family home of her then boyfriend, James Dunmore. So this community is still pushing forward. That mother wants answers. She wants her daughter back home.
All right, so there you have it. There's a missing woman. She's on the missing persons report. Her mother is very upset and makes sense. Anytime you lose a child, um, it's going to hurt. It's going to be a horrible experience. Now, most of us don't experience that, but those people that do, I haven't experienced that, but I know it can be heartbreaking. I know my son, I was missing for like a couple hours and I freaking panicked and I was about to lose my mind because he was a toddler at the time. Um, and the thing of it is he covered himself in blankets and went to sleep. He was safe and sound, but I thought he got out. And the feeling was so horrible. You know, I don't know what I'd do if anything ever happened to my children. And you just gotta pray for this young lady. Her daughter's missing and she don't know where she's at. And you got the community out there, coming together, putting attention to the case. And I like seeing that. I think, community should be like that. you know, and it'll get more coverage the more people talk about it, the more people push that it does get covered. Because the family's going grieved. They're going to do everything they can to get their daughter back. But sometimes they need the help of the community to come together and help them out. And that's what I'm seeing in this news report. Now I got another one that's come up days later. Okay. Now this woman's been missing for quite some time. Okay. But here's another news reporting. This one's more recent.
24 hours since the body of Alicia Watts was found in a cemetery in Montgomery County, and there are still a lot of unanswered questions about her death, many of them now focused on the man accused of her murder.
And her death also sparking conversations about dating and how to do it safely. Jamise Price took those questions.
Okay, so now they found her body at a cemetery. Okay, and that's heartbreaking. They were holding out hope and prayers, and unfortunately, this woman, and God bless her family, is missing. Okay, and they talk about dating, right, and how to date safely. Okay, now I just talk about my experiences dating back in the day, and that was, gosh, 30 years ago. I remember being on a date, just meet somebody for the first day and going out, hanging out, going hiking, going to remote places, and we don't even know each other, right? And, women have always been safe with me because, I'm a good guy. I ain't going to do nothing. But there's weirdos out there, there's crazies, and we don't even know. And a lot of us do this. We'll hook up with somebody when we're young, and we'll go on a date. We just met them, and we'll hang out in secluded places. We'll go up in the mountains and look at the city below, and it's cool and everything. But you don't know who you're dealing with. Um, and a lot of people put themselves in that situation. And even men could be in danger because what if she has a gun? What if she plans to do you harm or rob you? You just never know. Um, keep that in mind when you're dating. Always be in a safe place. Always have an escape route. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to the story.
To experts and joins us live in Moore County tonight. Jamise?
Steve, Alicia case resonated with a lot of people, especially those who are dating. And I often heard on the ground from those people who were searching for her that Alicia could have been me, a young woman that's dating but not knowing what's lurking in their partner's past. And in the case of James Dunmore, the man accused of killing Alicia, he has an alleged history of violence against women.
We have seen a very much increase in domestic violence related homicides this year.
And sadly, 39-year-old Alicia Watts is now among that number, a victim of domestic violence.
Okay. Now look, she went on a date with this guy, right? And it went horribly wrong. Something that we take for granted. Look, and she's 39 years old, and the guy she dated is a little bit older. So you think they're two mature adults? It's safe, it's cool. They're not young and dumb. So they just go and then things go bad. Okay. This can happen in any age group, even if you're an adult. Even if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you got to be careful because there are sickos in every age group. Okay, they're mentally unstable, they're dangerous, and they can be a teenager or an old man or old woman. I'm just saying, putting this out here. And she probably did on dates many times in her life, and it just seemed like a routine date. Get to know each other, see what he's like, right?
Police say it was her then boyfriend, 51-year-old James Dunmore, who killed her. He was never listed as a suspect by police, but always a point of suspicion by her family and friends as detailed in this 911 call after she disappeared.
Oh, this is just not her. It's kind of strange. And it what frightens me because I know that she just started talking to this guy.
That guy is Dunmore. His records outline a violent past. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison on a felony assault and battery charge on a family member, plus a kidnapping charge back in 2002 in Virginia.
Okay, see the charges he had before? And I'm pretty sure that this this woman did not know about the prior charges. Or she probably wouldn't have had nothing to do with him. Okay? But you don't ask these questions when you date somebody, do you? Um, you just find each other. Oh, she probably thought he was a nice guy. They probably had, a good interaction, and she probably thought there's no worries, right? He just seems like an everyday guy. You don't know. Okay, and it's critical when you're dating, you get to know people. And ladies, always be in a safe place. And you know what? Do a background check. Seriously.
Virginia. He's also convicted of assault in North Carolina back in 2006. Documents obtained by ABC 11 allege Dunmore physically assaulted and abducted another woman in the Charlotte area in March. The complaint lists allegations of prior acts of violence to include choking, punching, and verbal attacks.
It can feel jarring to think you know someone, but find out new information, right?
And a letter from Alicia Watt's sister earlier this month questioned whether she had found out about Dunmore's past. Her sister wrote, "Your lies and deceit have a funny way of catching up with you, and just when the veil had been removed from my sister's eyes, she started to see the real you."
Risk of homicide drastically increases in abusive relationships when actually that person is leaving the relationship.
Nisha Williams is the legal director of the North.
Okay. And she's correct. Usually violence takes place when there's about to be a breakup or something. Maybe she's not feeling the guy or whatever. That's when the violence comes in. That's when the heartbreak and the jealousy and whatever's taking place. Um, and this guy had a rap sheet. Of course, she didn't know that, or she wouldn't have dated him. But we got to know who we're dealing with. And look, we're all guilty of this. I've been guilty of this. We date when we're young and we're just excited to be on a date with somebody, and hopefully that's the person, and you know the deal. And we hang out and everything's great. But we don't know who we're dealing with. And women especially, you got to be extra careful. This thing usually don't happen to men. It does, but it's very rare. It's mostly women that are assaulted and overpowered, and you know, and women are more vulnerable because they're the weaker of the sexes, right? So women got to be extremely careful. I would say everybody be careful, but look, you know, this is a tragedy that happens every day in America, right? Most people aren't unaliving each other, but you never want to be a statistic. So be careful, be cautious.
Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence. She's encouraging women to find ways to protect themselves while dating. She suggests a background check, and turns out it's free at your county courthouse at the public service kiosk.
Okay, see there? Background check. Ladies, take heed of this. They're saying you can do it at the public courthouse. Do a background check on who you're dating. Because if she did a background check, just think, she would have seen these prior convictions, right? Sexual assault, domestic violence. She would have seen this stuff. And you think she would have been motivated to go on a date with this guy? You can do background checks on people. And ladies, in today's world, I would suggest you do that. Okay? And if he's a good man, he'd be okay with it. Like, okay, yeah, do your thing, you know, because we take for granted that who we're with is safe and, that they're just an everyday person. We all do that, but we don't know. If you don't know the person you're with, and especially early on in the relationship, when you start going on those first dates, you don't know who you're with. Okay? He could be a real nice guy. He could be, a jealous, you know, uh, controlling dude, or you might be a psychopath. You don't know. Background checks. And this is what I really want to hit on this story, ladies, is be careful. Be aware of your surroundings. Be strategic on that date. Don't ever put yourself alone. Okay? It could cost you. Could cost you your life.
Red flags you might be looking for on a criminal background check would be things like a violation of a domestic violence protective order or having a charge of an assault or an assault on a female.
And these background checks are a powerful tool. We did our own background check on Dunmore, and that's how we were able to find out about these violent convictions. But these background checks are just a safety resource, not a requirement. Advocates say that women should be able to date without a fear of losing their life.
Yeah, good point. Okay? There's a resource, a background check. No woman have to should ever be on a date and fear for her life. Okay? A date should be something that's fun, get to know each other, see if you're compatible. It should never be a life threatening situation. But unfortunately, there are a lot of sick people out there. And if you're with the wrong person, you're in danger. You got to keep that in mind. I'm not saying be, on pins and needles and panicking, but be smart. Background check. Go on a date where there's a lot of people around. Somewhere where you can escape, ladies. If he turns out to be kind of weird and you need to get away, be where you can get away. Don't go to secluded areas. Okay? Just saying.
In Moore County, I'm Janice Price, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, very true. Janice Price, thank you.
All right. Thank you, ABC News 11, for putting that together. And, I just want to say this. This was a tragedy. Okay. And this happens all the time. Okay. Most people are not assaulting other people. Most people aren't unaliving people on a date or because of a breakup. But there are people that will do this. There are people that have issues, that have mental problems, that are just violent people. Okay? Now, is who you're with that person? Is the person you with a psychopath? Well, usually not, but you never know. You don't know who you're with. So you got to know who you're with. You got to set up those safety nets. Do a background check. You know, I mean, hey, if we can do a background check for hiring somebody for a job, uh, we definitely should do a background check for dating. Okay? Because if you get a bad employee, well, you end up having to fire that employee, and you might lose a little money because you get a bad employee. But you get the wrong person you're dating, you could lose your life. Just saying. But take this in mind. This is a tragedy. And I can go on the news reports and pull this stuff up every day. Black femicide is a real thing. Okay? There are other women that are being unalived too. I don't want to say that it's just black women, but black women are the most unprotected. They are the most disrespected. And percentage wise, they're unalived more than any other group of women. That is a fact. That is the truth. And we can point fingers who's doing it. But if we don't fix it, whose fault is it? Of course, it's the perpetrator's fault, but it's our fault too because we're not fixing it. And we need to think about this. How can we fix it? How can we at least try? Calls to congressmen, senators, getting together, building a group, telling the politicians we vote for, hey, we need this legislation, or we're not going to vote for you. If we could come together and do that in a big group, I think some things can be done. Now, will it fix it? I don't think it'll fix it, but it might lower the amount of women that are assaulted and that are unalived. But anyway, and I think too, ladies, think of this. Okay? Do not date and marry down. That also puts your life in danger. Or it could. Okay? You know, lack of resources, you're carrying the load, ladies. Men don't feel real good about that. Even the ones that are looking for women to take care of them. It's just not a natural thing. Open up your options. Am I saying you got to go date a white man? No. But what I am saying is have a big variety. You have better choices that way. But this is a tragedy. Usually we see this with younger people, but it happens with older people too. She's like 39, he's in his 50s. You think they're just a mature couple that are going on a date. They've done it their whole life, right? Nothing to worry, nothing to fear. you know. But if she did a background check, she would have seen, oh, wait a minute, red flags. Just saying. Ladies, put yourself first, make it about you, and don't compromise. Do not date down, don't marry down. He's either at your level economically or above. Okay? And that don't make you a gold digger. That just letting the man lead. Okay? And you support him. And two good people that know their roles in a relationship, in a marriage, good things will happen. But I really wanted to show you this story. And it's sad, it's heartbreaking. I don't like watching it, but we need to see the truth. And what happened to this young lady can happen to any young lady in America, whether she's 18 or 85. Okay? Need to be careful. But anyway, have a good night. God bless. I'll see you on the next news reporting.